And we're live.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Marriage Misfits. I am Deb.
And my name is Kenny.
And we're the Joneses.
We're the Joneses. And like we always say, don't try and keep up with us because it's hard keeping up with ourselves. So,
but
go ahead.
With that, we are on a 4-week
series.
I was going to say adventure. That's why I paused. 4-week series. I call it adventure. 4 week of foreplay.
4 weeks of foreplay.
That's what I'm talking about.
So
yes.
Because again, what we thought was, when we looked at the past videos, we saw that conflict was high. People like talking about conflict, and
because it happens a lot,
sure,
right?
Yeah, like don't beat each other up.
Right.
And then the other thing was when we talked about sexual stuff. So that kind of like piqued views and interest and stuff like that. So we thought, you know what, we're going to talk about 4 weeks of foreplay because it's important.
Yeah, and so again, the views is not like, oh, we're getting more likes and more people like us. No. It's we feel that that's what is important in the relationship. People want to hear more about it. They want to have maybe more conversation with their spouses and their partners about it. So we want to be relevant for what we feel that y'all are wanting us to talk about. Did you just say
y'all?
I said y'all.
Wow.
Well, it's just easier to say, actually. I know I'm a California girl, so y'all is not in our vocabulary. Only lived in Tennessee for 3 years, but it just rolls, and it's quick in saying you guys.
I'm laid back.
You guys.
All of you. No, I'm joking.
Okay, anyways, off subject. All right, so 4 weeks of foreplay.
And today we're talking about what, Deb?
The kiss.
The kiss.
Yes, the kiss. So I think it's really important. Because this is
kissing is very important.
It is very important. So. But what the kiss does, it actually sets you up for what's ahead. I think, we learned it
or what's not ahead.
That is true too. I was going to get into that. That's so right. Yeah, so it communicates, what's going to be happening.
Direction.
Complete direction in what is happening. And so it's very important to communicate together what the kiss or what a kiss represents, because we were not on the same page of what a kiss would represent.
Sure.
Yes. And so we had to actually communicate to each other what those were, because we were both getting pretty frustrated about our expectation of what the kiss meant.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, and this is the reason why. I'm the guy who, if you kiss me, it's on and cracking. Like, there's no stopping. It's 0 to 60. We're going straight to the bedroom.
Yeah, sexually, right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, and that was, and maybe it wasn't just a peck, but if it was more than a peck, okay, well, peck too. I'm just saying, that's just me. It's like
Kenny's like any kind of contact,
any lip contact, yes. right here was like, yes,
yeah,
I know where this is headed.
Yeah,
and that's not necessarily true.
That wasn't true in my case. So for me, I can pet Kenny all day long and just come to him and give him a peck on the cheek or on the lips and be like, hey, babe, and be on my way. But Kenny, he was like, oh, tonight.
Or right now.
Or, hey, a real fast one in the bedroom when the kids are just out and about, whatever,
Right.
And so, for me, that just wasn't the case. And even fact that I wouldn't mind kissing Kenny, French kiss Kenny, even in front of the kids. It's like a little, not like grotesque, like, dang, get a room, but just like a little sweetheart, slider in there, And
Biggie Smalls, tongue all down her throat. No.
So silly.
Not that.
But Kenny was just like, no, you can't do that, He just, you can expound on yours.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like a peck, could say, and again, it's the way I grew up without having a lot of affection in the home that I grew up in. There wasn't a lot of affection, so now moving into, adolescence and then, marriage, it's like, for me, that was just a sign of, intimacy. Like, it's on and cracking, And so, when Deb and I got married, it was like, oh, it's a peck. Let's have sex. You know what I'm saying? And God forbid, if you start to if I even feel a little bit of tongue, just even look, just on, it's done. It's over. That was the communication that I want to do the dirty deed right now.
Yes. That's what he thought.
That's what I thought. And
that was not what I was thinking.
And so, again, ready? And we're back to communication. Like, I think in this first part, we want to talk about, like, define what kisses are. And again, it's okay to talk about, what a kiss kind of means. Like, we don't have to be like, okay, we're going to stop right here and we got like 4 points of, what this kiss is all about and stuff like that. No. Like, get in a rhythm or have a, precursor conversation or just, like, sit down and talk about it.
Yeah.
And go, hey, you know what? Because we had to. I mean, and you may be different. You guys may...
Yeah, you might have it all together, and you just smooth. You just know each other or something.
Yeah.
But,
and a kiss could be a kiss, and you can peck, and you can French kiss, and you can, slobber all over your face and stuff. And you can be good, and there won't be any other expectations for it.
Totally.
But it wasn't in our case. And
That's
so
correct.
we had to have some conversations about going like, hey, wait. If you're going to kiss me, know where my mind is thinking.
Yeah, so we've learned in our almost 26 years of marriage that Kenny can have a peck.
I can have a peck now.
He can have a peck now. But we had to talk because I was like, well, why not? What's wrong with that? He's like, no, because it's where my brain goes. So if you're doing that, I'm for sure like, well, we're going to go do that. You better wrap up what you're doing here, wrap up the kids, duct tape them on the walls, whatever you need to do so we can I'll meet you in the room like 5 minutes, right? And so I had to know, like, that was just not the case. So I had to, like, reel my own, like, I just want to flirt with Kenny sometimes, just, like, give him, like, juice him up a little bit. And he's like, no, there is no juice in that.
Because the juices don't stop. They don't stop.
Other men you can, and that's just not a big deal. But again, it's communicating is really important. And for us, we are here to share like our journey and what we went on with us
100%.
to help us get to a place that we both are on the same team. We both are thinking the same thing. We're enjoying the journey as much as possible, and it's less arguments as possible, right? So, and to know where the kiss, define the kiss.
Yeah.
Like where the kiss is headed.
And again, we don't want to make it mechanical, like,
yeah.
So, there are some times, not a lot, but sometimes, like Deb will kiss me and I'll be like, what does this mean? Like just right there in the moment, in the midst, we would, like start talking about, like, is this a hint? Like, what are we doing? Because I don't want to throw on expectations and kind of like be totally disappointed. And it's my fault, but totally disappointed later on, at night. But like kissing it's super intimate. It's, you're swapping bodily fluids most of the time, if you're doing it right. No, I'm joking. Maybe I'm not joking, but, you're swapping, bodily fluids, and it's like, man, that's your,
And the tongue is an erotic zone, too, right? Like, when your
100%.
tongues are hitting, like, there's these, like, beautiful bumps on them that just create this beautiful friction, right? And so it does. It makes your juices flow and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And for Kenny, I had to learn to be kind and not take that for granted. Like, oh, I got juices flowing. That's right, babe. And then peace out. I'm gonna go shopping now. He's just like, oh, what the heck just happened? So to be kind and to be nice and for him to like me when I get home from grocery shopping.
Sure.
And we have to be on the same page. And I would say too, like, even when like I go to like even give him like small kisses, I'll like talk to him like, hey baby, tonight is the night. Like, this is just,
tee it up if you can.
Yeah, so like just let you know. I'm just, and just talking on his lip, like, hey, just let you know.
Yeah.
And so he's like, okay.
Well, and again, we're talking about kissing because it's a part of foreplay, and it can be. But it can be innocent as well, too. Little pecks throughout the day, and, when you're snuggling and pecking, and it may not mean anything. But just know that there are times that you can define it, or just cue your spouse and go, hey, yes, absolutely. So there's no, like, disappointment or lack of expectations, or expectations are there and you think and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Because, again, for us, and again, we are only speaking from our own experiences. Yours may be different, but it can lead to, disappointment if one person's kissing just for the, in the moment, and the other person's going, dude, yes, I'm getting some tonight. And so, ready, all of our Christian friends that are watching and will watch, it's okay. I guarantee you, Christians actually kiss. I promise you, 100%.
Well, you better be.
Right? Those of you that
probably need to be.
Yeah, those of you that have kids, okay, just be
continue kissing.
Yes, be okay with the conversation because it's a part of it. Should be. Yeah. It should be a healthy part of everybody's marriage.
And I think even too, like throughout our marriage, and we've only been married for 25 years right now, and it's seasons change, and as seasons change, even the kiss and when and whereas, like even Kenny said, I can actually have a peck now, and I'm good. I'm good. Maybe you've been married like 45 years, 35 years. Like, oh yeah, we can totally like make out and then, roll over and go to bed. But just again, like define the kiss. Like where are you at? And be good with it with each other. That's the whole part of this foreplay of kissing is. When we get each other excited, it's like, I notice you, I want you, maybe not all the way, but I want you to know that you're endeared to me. And a kiss definitely says that.
Absolutely. So, and that's the first part. The second part is like, we actually want to talk about kissing and the whole fun foreplay part of it. Because like we said earlier, kissing can be very intimate, erogenous, that's a big word. Somebody spell that. And it can be a part of that setup to be intimate and have intercourse and sex and, bed. I think those are the same thing, but it leads into that. And so that's why I wanted to talk about kissing as a part of foreplay. And so for us, nothing is out of bounds. And we'll talk about certain things in the upcoming weeks, but, we wanted to talk about, like, kissing as far as foreplay, like, the soft and the gentleness of it, and, like, where, you know what I'm saying? Like, define or, again, ready to communicate, have either conversate through it or have a conversation after it, like, what feels good? What part of your body do you act like it?
Right.
You like, to begin to get the juices flowing and just be connected and bonded.
Yeah,
to each other.
And be comfortable because, we all come from different backgrounds and we all come from different homes and, there's a lot of shaming going on even about sex itself and even the foreplay of sex. And even maybe you've been sexually abused, like that plays a big part. When we've been violated, to other people, it's like, oh, it's no big deal. What are you talking about? And then other ones of us that have been, sorry, sorry about that. Other people that have had abuse go on, it's harder. So again, we have to communicate to each other, like, hey, this is what I can do now.
Right.
And I would say too, from one victim myself in sexual abuse, that I got to talk to me my journey, what my journey looks like. And sometimes it's like all of this, and then sometimes I have to reel it back. Like I can't do all of that right now. And then it's okay, I can do all of this, but because I think I'm more in the driver's seat of, hey, because of my sexual abuse, I can actually lead Kenny, and so I'm not mad at him. It's not uncomfortable for me. Like we're doing this together, and so he's not feeling me just being tight and resisting, and like, well, what's wrong with you? Well, why are you acting so weird? Like he knows, so he's being more sensitive. And again, we have to communicate like what's going on in our psyche that might hold us back from really engaging with each other, and even with the kissing. Because kissing, it's like that's super intimate. Like it's crazy how that can just open up so much of you, more than just the act of intercourse. And so I would say, make sure you communicate with your spouse about, where they can kiss and what actually stimulates you and what makes you uncomfortable for that moment, and tell them why. It's really important.
Yeah, and engage in we're going to continue to beat this dead horse, but it's a horse that needs to be woke, like communicate. We've struggled so hard in our relationship early on to communicate well, and we still do at points in different seasons or different triggers. And so it's not we're speaking to the choir. Like we also need to be reminded to communicate. Like, again, if it's, while it's taking place and going, hey, I don't like that. And then don't be offended, right? Don't be offended, but like move someplace else and give another spot a try. You know what I'm saying? Or go, hey, where do you want me to? Wow, what a question. What if we were all just able to kind of like guide and communicate freely and openly without offense, during this kind of foreplay? In this particular episode about kissing, I think it would be more enjoyable for everyone. Yeah. And if we're honest, like Deb and I, like we've been in the midst of foreplay, and Deb has said, hey, I'm being triggered right now. Yeah. And for me, like I have to go, whoa, you know what I'm saying? Like as much as I'm like in the zone and, like in it, like there, like I had to like step back and go, man, I don't want that for my wife. I don't want her to be triggered, by something I'm doing. Yeah. And so I had to back up and be okay with it because it wasn't me. It was she was being triggered. And then move in a different direction and then have a beautiful conversation, afterwards. So everyone thought this was going to be like this huge sex, like blah, blah, blah conversation. But there's more to the foreplay, or kissing and foreplay than the actual kiss. And so...
Well, because we all have like different zones on our body that actually make us feel more endeared to each other.
Sure.
And so with your marriage and with your spouse and your partners, like it's to have that conversation of where, and when they say no, not there, like don't take it personal. It's not about you. It's about pleasing each other. And that's the whole...
100%. This is a good one right here.
That is the whole part about the reason why we want to be intimate, period, right? Is to please our partner. Is for us to be have pleasure together, that nobody else knows those spots but us. Nobody else understands like the dance, the beautiful kisses that we get to play on each other. This is our secret, thing right here, and that's important. We need to cover that, and we need to protect that in a beautiful way. And a part of that is being able to communicate.
And it creates a safe place. Like it's a safe place, and where few places are safe. You want your marriage bed to be a safe place for all of this. And so, but let's get back. We'll conclude. We'll wrap up with this. Okay. We'll talk about okay, so where are those places? Where are those places? We're talking about, kissing, 4 weeks of foreplay. We're talking about kissing. Like, where are those places? And we're gonna talk about a lot, but we're not gonna talk about all of them. We're gonna wait for some of those spots. Yes. So you have to keep tuning in, maybe to next week. But for me, okay, well, Deb, you go first. Where are the arousal? I know, right? Where are the arousal places where I kiss you?
I got
other than private parts. We'll just say private parts for the sake of viewership.
Well, I think got hot real quick. Oh my gosh, I gotta share with the world, what places are. Well, I don't want to share, but I can say that
chicken.
Well, this is like vulnerability, to its core. I feel like somebody's peeking in my window, but
Do you want me to go?
Well, yeah, you go first.
So here's the deal. When Deb kisses, and I maybe suck kiss. I don't know if that could be a part of the kissing, but on my neck, oh my God, drives me nuts. Right? Raise your hand if that's you. It's okay. You can raise your hand. I can't see you. Too. Right? Raise your hand. But again, that whole back of my neck, side of my neck, not in the front. This is weird. I think you're maybe a tack dog. On the out. No, but on the side of my neck and my ear. Game over. Game over. I think that's one of the places. I would say shoulder, arms, chest, stomach. Not my stomach, but legs. No. This part right here, to the moon. It's done. That is a very sensitive, erogenous place for me as far as kissing. The other thing too, just it's kind of weird, mouth kissing. You know what I'm saying? Like Deb said earlier, I think French kissing, if you want to call it that, is probably one of the most. It arouses me. It's one of the most arousal things that Deb and I do. To kind of get me at least in that direction, is to kiss. Mouth, tongue, just all in it. I love
It's true.
it. So
It is true.
Yeah.
It's true. Okay, I'll share one place. That's it. Just one. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm doing this. Like down my back.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's his lips and his tongue going down my back like that. That your partner's body part and his lips and his tongue. And again, mine's kissing with Kenny as well, because he has these full lips that are just. I just like them a lot, and I just enjoy. I enjoy, him kissing me and just, being in that space like a lot. So, that's mine. Okay, I'm hot.
You are, baby. You are. But hey, and so again, as we kind of wrap this up and kissing and 4 weeks of foreplay, and we're talking about kissing, and again, some of it was like, hey, it's conversation. It's have the conversations before or during, and let it be a safe place to allow the conversations to happen, because you want to be on the same page. And again, it doesn't have to be robotic. A conversation. It doesn't have to be forced or anything like that. Like, let it be an open and honest conversation, and just communicate with each other like what you like.
Yeah. And I would say too, like, even when you're in the moment, to be able to go, hey, can you kiss me there? Or when Kenny has hit a good spot, it's like, oh, you can stay there.
Or go back. Go back. Replay. Rewind that.
We're such old people.
I know.
Rewind.
Like,
That's good take.
There might be. I don't like classifying, but there are probably some millennials that are going, oh, I know what that is, and some are going, wait, what? Rewind what?
Yeah.
I guess you can rewind on digital stuff.
It's. I think that's really important. I think sometimes we can get caught up in it has to look or be a certain way, and so we can't disrupt what's happening, and so we'll just like let it be. And it's like, no, like, let's interrupt each other in a good way, in a positive way, about how we can kiss or where we can kiss each other, Like, that's like, that's money.
And you said something earlier. It's because it is just not for my pleasure. This is not a selfish act.
Yeah.
This is me engaging in my spouse and our oneness, and the goal is to please you, and vice versa. And so there's this thing going on where, I am trying and she is trying, and it's this beautiful,
happy place.
Happy place. I was going to say soiree.
I like mine better. I like happy place.
So, anyways, I think that's.
Yep.
Yeah, we can end it right there. And here's the deal. Ready? Now, continue the conversation.
Yes.
Like, if you've watched, or you're watching later on, because it's Tuesday, wherever in our world where we're at, if you're watching, man, go have a conversation and talk about this stuff. Again, pecking is great throughout the day and stuff like that. Make sure there's no miscommunications, so we don't have disappointments like later on. One person's going, that peck just signified it's on and cracking. And the other person's going, I love you. You know what I'm saying?
See you later. We're shopping.
But also, too, like the whole foreplay part. And again, some of you, it could be fast and dirty. And some, like, it could be drawn out in this beautiful kind of like, orchestrated kind of piece that just flows and it's fluid. And in that, kissing is very, hopefully, hopefully
in both areas. Yeah, fast or slow.
Yeah.
It's a long out process or a short process. Kissing is.
It's hot.
It's good.
Whew.
Yeah.
And so our hope is that, us sharing, and being vulnerable with you allows you to go with your spouse and just have the conversation initiated.
Yeah.
And really, like, no arguments. It's fact finding, it's discovery, about each other and, the needs or the desires, I would say, the desires of each other, so that when you're in the midst and you're headed to, the bedroom or wherever you do the dirty, that it's mutual, it's respectful, and it's beautiful.
That's
and
right.
it's enjoyable.
That's right.
So, I think that's all I got.
Yeah.
All right.
So, enjoy your kissing. May it be beautiful and luxurious and adventurous.
Yeah.
And thanks for tuning in. We appreciate all of the input coming back in about what we're talking about. And again, if there's anything that we need to talk about that you're like, hey, but this about lovemaking, but this about foreplay, you got to talk about this. We'd love to hear it so we can actually talk about it. So again, we're in this with you, and we appreciate you being with us tonight.
Ready? Go kiss your spouse right now.
That's right.
See you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.